Hi, you're with Julian, and go to hell, Clive Palmer and the United Australia Party. How dare you send me unsolicited text messages, especially from that moronic Gronks Craig Kelly. Now, I'm the kind of person that will regard you as an enemy if you knock on my door unannounced. I don't enjoy unsolicited phone calls. I've never answered one on my mobile phone, which have gone up dramatically since I started giving my phone number out every time I went into a venue. I am now receiving multiple phone calls a day from people who are trying to sell things. I will never answer these calls. If my house is on fire, please knock. But if you're there to sell me something, don't. I don't want it. This is the United Australia Party in 2019. I don't know how well that will show up. January 17, 2019. When elected, United Australia Party will ban unsolicited political text messages which Labour and Liberal have allowed. They are con artists. Now, a lot of people who are the most gullible Australians are now rallying, well, not most of them, because most of them are actually bots that work for United Australia Party, but some people are rallying to this party in a similar way to One Nation. You support a billionaire as your Che Guevara. You think that a billionaire who owns coal and mining ore is the best way of showing your independent anarchic spirit. How stupid are you? Like supporting Donald Trump. I mean, imagine supporting somebody that is a billionaire friend of Scott Morrison, who used to be associated with the Liberal Party, as your great government fight back. How dumb can people be to actually think that they're fighting against government when they are fighting for a billionaire? This is the astroturfing of a revolution. Clive Palmer was associated with the National Party from the 1960s until the year 2008, and then he was associated with the Liberal Party. Both sides of the coalition were his predecessors to the United Australia Party. It's like One Nation, how they appeal to blue-collar, disaffected voters, yet vote with the Liberal Party and the coalition 85% of the time. This is the point in both One Nation and the United Australia Party. Right-wing populism has made people so crazy that they are now attacking the right-wing parties. So in order to keep all of these people on board, the anti-vax gang, the conspiracy theory gang, all of those people, the Liberal Party can't espouse those views per se. So they need some outlying group that will collect all of these people that have been emboldened by this right-wing populist media for years. They need a home for them, so they stay on their side, and then they vote with the government. They are literally the extreme wing of the Liberal Party and the National Party. That's all they are. Don't believe billionaires ever. Clive Palmer set up the UAP for one reason and one reason only: to stop Labour being elected. Why? Because he doesn't want action on climate change. He is a mining magnate. He owns coal. You don't think that he might have some skin in the game here? He wants to ensure that there is less and less legislation for things like global warming to benefit himself financially. Now, he wants to ensure when the Liberal Party are forced, as they are at the moment, to take action on climate change, that within the Liberal Party structure, people like Craig Kelly and that have to toe the line to a degree when it comes to vaccines and everything else. So they step outside of the party. They still support the Liberal Party, but they can say whatever comes into their head. So they can say so they are basically an extreme version of the Liberal National Coalition that will try and pull the coalition into line whenever they drift a little bit too far to the centre. That's the whole point of them. That's it. They understand how popular right-wing Fox News style propaganda is with sections of the public who have been turned off government. Yet they are representative of that very government. They are not some independent outlying force. They are an extension of those liberal, neoliberal economic policies, anti-global warmism, and they use the banner of stuff like anti-vax because it gets them the people they want. They don't care about anything like that. The policies that they actually believe in, listed on Wikipedia, right-wing populism, nationalism, and conspiracy theories. But really, they're about action on global warming, because that affects Clive Palmer. So he wants to ensure that that same kind of Trumpism is very close to the heart of government. And like the One Nation, when governments are elected by slim margins, they wield an enormous amount of power despite having virtually no MPs or senators. They wield a distortive amount of power. And that's the point of the UAP. Anyone that goes to this billionaire-led party expecting them to be some revolutionary force is an idiot. You don't look to these people. There are plenty of independents spruiking the genuine views that you would probably have out there. But all he does is get his gronks on TV and in the Sky News, which is complicit in this kind of thing, for sound bites, attacking anything that they see as, a way of hoovering up people that have drifted into this QAnon Trump world and making them part of the government. You are being lied to by billionaires again, and you're falling for it. Try and find an alternative that actually stands for something. Clive Palmer isn't it. You don't think that he's invested in... His last job was to stop Bill Shorten getting elected, and he did very, very well, spending about $80 million in Queensland to ensure that we lost out on one of the biggest... This was a shameful act. We lost out on a great leader and a great raft of policies. Bill Shorten still had policies on franking credits, on negative gearing, on tax breaks for wealthy people. All of that's gone under Anthony Albanese. Clive Palmer got exactly what he wanted. It's one of the most shameful things that's ever happened to Australia, because we lost such an opportunity to begin reshaping our country. He's an evil man for what he did. And he did it all for self-interest. He doesn't stand for anything. So there are a lot of very, very silly people out there that believe the billionaires are their revolutionaries. Wake up. I mean, when has a billionaire ever been your friend? And you think he's your best friend now? Because someone like Craig Kelly, a populist who cares about nothing so much as promoting himself, is jumping on every single extremist conspiracy theory bandwagon. And the reason he left the Liberal Party is that he wanted to support the Liberal Party being in government, but he wanted to say crazy stuff because it was getting him views. And that's it. They don't stand for you. They're not your friends. These people have never been your friends. Pauline votes against blue-collar Australia every chance she gets. They are not your friends.